Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. I am being joined today by members of the LaGrange Kiwanis Club of LaGrange. I am being joined to my far left, Mrs. Joyce Johnson. Welcome to the show, Joyce.
Thank you.
And then to my immediate left here, Mr. John Carden. John, welcome to the show.
Yes, sir.
Well,
good to have you.
Well, it was good to sit down with both of you all to talk about something that's been taking place in our community for a very long time. And we're going to get into that in just a moment. But before we get started, I always kind of like to have my guests introduce themselves once again, even though I've introduced you, and just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, because I know that, Joyce, you're not originally from LaGrange, as we were talking before we came on the air. So, Joyce, tell us a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind.
Okay. I'm Joyce Ellis-Johnson. I'm treasurer of the Kiwanis Club of LaGrange. I've lived in LaGrange now for about 13 years. I'm retired from Wellstar West Georgia Health.
What brings you to LaGrange?
What brings me to LaGrange?
And where'd you come
I'm from Chicago.
Uh-huh.
Born and raised. I moved to LaGrange, like I said, about 13 years ago. My husband is a LaGrange native, and he wanted to return home after he retired, so we moved here, and we live out in the county.
Okay, all right. Great weather you're having in Chicago right now.
Oh, it's terrific. I just left there, snowing like crazy.
Okay.
I'm glad you left it up there.
That's right, absolutely. Me too, John. Well, John, I know that you have been a member and a figure of our community for a very long time. But again, just tell everybody about yourself if you don't mind.
Well, I'm John Carden, and I have the Allstate agency over on Hogansville Road, and Carden Insurance Agency and Allstate for over 21 years now. And then before that, I was an independent agent with Life and Health for quite a few years. And 15 years with Milliken before I went in the insurance industry. And then if you want to go on back, I've worked at Belts and started when I was a child and worked my way through school and started with Milliken. So
okay,
I've always enjoyed the area.
Absolutely. LaGrange is a great place to live, work, and play, and to raise a family as well.
Absolutely.
And then a great retirement location, too, especially if you're trying to escape the snow and ice and the windshield factors up in that area. Well, again, you guys are here to talk about something that's taken place in our community for 24 years now. But before we get into talking about that, if y'all don't mind, tell us a little bit about Kiwanis, first of all. And I know, John, you may know, and well, Joyce, you probably know, I am a Kiwanian as well. Just haven't been to a meeting in quite some time. Yeah. So if y'all don't, that might have been a little bit of known fact to you, Joyce.
No, I didn't know.
Okay. Yeah. But if y'all don't mind, tell us a little bit about Kiwanis, if you don't mind. John, I'll start out with you, if you don't mind.
Well, I'm on the board, and I'm the membership chair. And I'm the happy man at the Kiwanis meeting, and I was asked by Mr. Sledge behind the scenes here not to do that too early in the morning here. But
okay.
Anyway, visitors are shocked when I announce the happy. But then I'll go around to each member and ask them what they're happy about today, and they'll put $1 or sometimes $10 and $20 in the kitty, and we'll put that into a sponsor of a child or something or need, or we don't earmark it, hadn't earmarked it in the last year or so to any particular thing, but it's there, and we use it, and so it is a good time, and gives opportunity for somebody to express their happiness.
All right.
And let us all share in it.
There you go.
So
absolutely.
It's good.
And Joyce, if you don't mind, tell us again a little bit more about Kiwanis, if you don't mind.
Well, Kiwanis is an organization that was found to help children, make a lasting difference in the lives of children. And our clubs focus on changing the world by serving one child at a time. Mm-hmm. We have all kinds of activities here in the community. With Kiwanis, we think of ourselves as a family club. We have what we call the K-Kids, and that's for kids in the primary levels. We have the Builders Club, that's for children who are in the elementary level of school. They can have clubs. Mm-hmm. The Key Clubs are in the teens for the high school kids, and the Circle K for university or college-age children. They form their own clubs. But here in LaGrange, we have 2 key clubs, one at LaGrange High and one at Troop High. And did I say that right?
I remember there was a key club at Troop High when I was there. That's been many moons ago.
I think it's Callaway.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Yeah. Two key clubs, and then we've recently organized one at the LaGrange College, the Circle K.
Oh, really? Okay.
We believe that if you give a child a chance to learn, experience, to grow, there's no limit to the potential that child has. So it's our deem to encourage that as much as possible. Each week in the public schools, we go and do a program called Terrific Kids. And terrific means thoughtful, enthusiastic, respectful, responsible. I'm going to get the rest of it, but in a minute. But all that spells out the terrific kids. And what we're trying to do is encourage young people to behave well, to read more, to learn, to be the best that they can be. And in cooperation with the teachers in the schools, this program is held, like I said, once a week. And at the end of the program, if the child reaches his goals, the goals that he's established for himself, then he's given a recognition. And that could be an award, it could be lunch, it could be anything. Really kind of take our direction from the classroom instructor.
Okay, well, very good.
Yeah.
And John and I were talking before we came on the air. And he was telling me that, just to give a hug to a child. John, talk about that a little bit, if you don't mind.
Well, we do it with second graders, and the teachers set a goal for the child, and then once a month we go there and recognize that child and in front of the other classmates. And then we adults are up there, and then usually it's about 5 or 6 or maybe more adults from Kiwanis that they shake the hand and congratulate them, and then you just see the joy in the face. And some of them, you can tell that they hadn't had a good pat on the back and saying, good job, well done, and so. But the teachers that we deal with, they're top notch in these schools, and I'm proud of them and proud of our terrific kids too.
Well, very good. Because kids are terrific, and they just have to continue to believe that, and then that positive enforcement and positive motivation, I think, will carry them a long way in life. That someone cares. Absolutely. And you were talking about second graders, and you talked about high school, middle school. Do they have? Does that carry over to middle school as well?
It's every child level.
Okay, every
primary
child.
Builders is for the middle school age. Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you a question, and this is kind of we already know the answer. Why is this so important in our society today to reinforce and to give that positive energy to kids? Why do you think that is so important?
It's not just important today; it's important always. I mean, even I think of myself growing up, needing the reinforcement to know that you're okay and that you're doing okay. Think about it. If every day you get up, you go out, you do the best you can, or maybe you don't even try because nobody cares. But if somebody cares, then you probably care too. And to give that encouragement is just I can't speak to it. Everybody needs it.
Positive reinforcement.
Absolutely, everybody needs it.
Absolutely,
and children most particularly.
But we have Jim Sexton. He's a real tall ex-Marine, retired logger, and they call him Slim Jim. And they see Slim Jim out in the grocery store or Walmart or wherever, and they always come up to him because. And then I reckon they know me as the happy man.
The happy man, okay.
And, but it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
A lot of fun. I encourage us to have people come and join Kiwanis and get involved with the youth. I encourage you.
Well, very good. How many members do y'all have in Kiwanis now, you think, Joyce?
Currently, I think our roster is about 57.
Okay, all right. So how can someone become a member of Kiwanis? John mentioned that, if somebody...
Well, we meet every Thursday at country club, and if they reach out to me, we'll bring them in as a guest.
Okay.
Let them see what we do, and encourage them to join. But it's we have a lot of fun. We've got a good core group, and it's a lot of love and fun
Absolutely,
that we have. And so
and if you
we
don't
enjoy it.
and if you don't know John or where to find John, you can find any Kiwanian. We meet every Thursday at the Highland Country Club at noon. So we'd encourage anyone who would be interested, if they didn't know John and wanted to come by, we would welcome that.
By all means, anybody.
Okay, well, very good. Well, I think John, because I can remember, the State Farm poster, John facing this. So it's kind of like household.
All state now.
That's right. You can find John.
All
Watch
state.
your mouth,
That's right. I'm sorry, John. But all
Yeah,
state,
all
that's
state,
right.
But,
John's kind of like that household name there.
But we have Mabel Sharp and other agents there.
right.
We all get along, so
There you go.
we're good family.
That's
there,
right.
So we have a
Absolutely.
good time there.
That's I guess that's one of the advantages of living in a small town, Joyce. People kind of get to know each other very well.
Yeah, you get to know folks.
You get to know people, that's right. And I guess, and then that can be kind of maybe a detriment too. Sometimes people get to know people too well sometimes, but I think it has its benefit. The benefits outweigh the
I agree with
disadvantages.
you. I agree with
Absolutely.
you.
Well, what we're going to do, you guys are here and we're talking about Kiwanis. And let me just ask one last question about that. Memberships. I know that you were talking about memberships. Can you talk about membership dues for the club itself?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a two-tier. We have a retired person, and then we have the active person, and the meals included, and I believe it's
The dues are $65
a month,
and that
okay.
includes your meals. It's lunch every Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it would also include your contribution to the international, because we belong to the international organization, as well as the district, Georgia district.
Okay.
So the $65 a month would be all inclusive.
Oh, okay.
I
All
guess
right.
it
Well, very good.
includes all that. But the reason I was hesitant about how much it was, there's an annual payment there, and then which I do that, but good, by the grace of God, I'm able to do that. So.
Okay. Well, very good. Well, let's talk a little bit about the upcoming event that you all came on to talk about it, but it's always good to kind of get more information out about the organizations that we have in our community. But you all are here today to talk about the 24th Annual Pancake Breakfast. 24 years this has been taking place in our community.
Yeah.
John, talk a little bit about that if you don't mind for us.
Well, we we open at 7, and if you come there at 6:30, hey, you might have to wait a few minutes on us, but we'll serve you.
Okay.
But 7 to 11, and it's at the First Baptist on the Square at the Family Life Center.
Uh-huh.
And in my church, I call it Fellowship Hall. So anyway, but anyway, and we welcome everybody to come. It so happens to fall on the storytelling weekend, and we always try to coordinate things with them. And so it's a good outing. Come and eat breakfast and enjoy the fellowship of the storytelling on the square. Because I'm working with the pancakes, I don't get up to the square, but anyway, it's all you can eat pancakes, sausage, and your drinks, coffee, milk, Coke, and all you can eat.
Okay.
So
Well,
look forward to having everybody come by. $7 a plate, and it goes for the scholarships for local students that are college bound. And so we try to help as many as we can, and we're limited by funds. So the community could help us out there. We can spread the joy more.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Joyce, and I know that, you've been here now 13 years, and I guess you've been involved with the Pancake Breakfast for that
10 of
years.
those 13 years,
Okay.
yes.
Talk about your experience in dealing with it as well.
Well, John's in the back and I'm in the front, so we don't see each other. It's hot in the back. Yeah, myself and Libby and Ilya are some people who you'll find greeting you when you arrive to the center. And it's just it's a fun time. I mean, families, friends. I think a lot of people use that as a date that they meet up. Let's meet up at the First Baptist and have breakfast and sit and chew the fat. And it's a good time for things like that. The experience has been awesome. I mean, each year it seems to get bigger. We started somewhere, I think, around 700 people that we were serving. I think last year we did, what, about 1,500?
Whoa.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we get a really, really good turnout. And in addition, one of our members puts together a antique auto show that happens out front. So that goes on as well. So if you want to see a lot of different kind of old cars.
Okay.
So I didn't know that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So you make that in the back cooking
I'm stuck in the
pancakes.
kitchen.
Very
But we
good.
have a good time.
Well,
It's a really good time. It's a really good time. It's a fun day, and the rewards are absolutely the best because we're able to raise money to do the scholarships.
Okay. And you all do the cooking. I know that, John, I know that you and I were
John
talking about it when you came up. You cook the sausage, right? Is that correct?
Calvin-Johnson and
Okay.
we're on the sausage
Detail there?
detail there, and but we have 3 turntables. Everybody's amazed by the pancake cooker that is on a turnstile, and they don't let me flip them.
Oh, really?
I don't think I've flipped a single one yet.
Oh, my.
But I'm steady on the sausage.
On the sausage. So you got the sausage down pat, no doubt.
Hey, baby. But it's with we have a ball though.
Well,
Have a
very
good
good.
time.
Very good. Now, tickets are $7. They can get them from any Kiwanis members, I guess, Joyce. Is that correct?
That's correct, and they can also purchase them at the door.
Oh, okay. All
I
right.
want to add that now our Key Club, the high
High schools?
schoolers,
Okay.
they help us serve. We're grateful for them, and well, I want to not overlook them.
Absolutely.
And they're a joy to deal with too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then, too, I think, the giving back, being able to serve others, I think that's, some of our missions, it should be all of our mission to be able to serve and to give back to those, and for a very worthwhile cause, because, John, you mentioned about the proceeds from the pancake breakfast goes to scholarship to deserving students.
No, we have a separate budget for what administrative. You're the treasurer here.
She's the money lady, all right?
But so all this does go to scholarships.
All of the money they raise for the pancakes, correct.
Okay.
But that's not the only fundraiser we do for scholarship fundraising. We
Okay.
also have an event that occurs, coming up in April?
It's on April 14th. We have a sporting clay shoot,
Okay.
and it's over at Red Oak Plantation over in Gay, Georgia, and we have like $100 yard signs we can put out at shooting stations, and this year I think we've gone to 80 clays, and it's a good family outing. And we meet, say, about 8 o'clock, I believe, and we have a shooters meeting for safety, and then we branch out, we shoot in your stations, and then come back, and Joyce and some of the behind-the-scenes volunteers, they're tallying up the scores and see who's the best shooter.
Oh, okay.
Father-son combinations, and I know last year I had my 2 sons and my grandson shot with my team.
Okay.
And team this year is 125 a person, and 4-man teams. Now, if you're a single shooter, we can put you with a team, and so don't hesitate about that.
Okay.
You won't be alone.
Okay.
You won't be a fifth wheel there.
There you go. So come on
But
out.
look forward to that. It's April 13th.
April 13th? Okay. All right. Very good. April 13th. Now, I want to go back real quick to ask one last question about the pancake breakfast, because I'm sure I'll be down in this area, but I'm not going to be able to stay.
Need some pancakes.
Can I get one to go?
Yes, sir. And we make sure you have enough on that to-go plate.
Okay. All right. Because I know they said all you can eat.
Right. And we even discussed that at a board meeting about how many put on there and on the to-go plate. So we want everybody happy.
Very good. And if I remember from days gone by, they were pretty big size pancakes there. So if you eat 2 or 3 of those, you're going to be full for the rest of the day, pretty much. So, well, all right. Well, this has been an awesome event that you guys are sharing with the community. So again, tickets can be purchased from any Kiwanis members. So if you don't mind, Joyce, just give us a rundown of the date, time, location, all those things once more before we close out.
It's March the 2nd, First Baptist on the Square, the Family Life Center. Tickets are $7 per person. It's from 7 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock in the morning, March 2nd.
Okay. All right.
Come to the square, be there or be square.
There you go. I was exactly what I was going to say. Be there or be square.
Be square.
But excuse me.
No, I was going to say, John, because we've heard so much about this, the happy dollar.
Happy, happy, happy.
He wanted to do that.
All right. So now, I guess, Joyce, you got to put money in the happy dollar collection plate, right?
I have to find some. I'm happy to be here this morning. I'd be happy to pay $1 for it.
All right, very good. Well, I'm gonna tell you, I guarantee you one thing: if somebody's nodding off, that'll wake them up.
we have visitors they don't know, and they're shocked.
They're shocked. All right. Well, I'm gonna tell you, it has been a pleasure and a joy to have both of you all on this morning to talk about the 24th annual Pancake Breakfast that's sponsored by Kiwanis. I know that our public, as they always, will come out and support this very worthwhile
and we appreciate
in our community. And by all means, I want to invite you both back on the show again, maybe to talk about the clay shoot coming up, okay?
Be glad to.
All right.
We're really happy. And we also have the Creative Youth Art League that happens at the LaGrange Art Museum every spring.
Okay.
Where we sponsor young artists to come and display their works and have it, it's a juried art show.
Okay.
You had that up too, don't you?
I do.
Absolutely. We definitely want to make sure, anytime we can do anything to kind of help get the word about what our youth are doing in the community, we're always welcome to that here.
There's a few hundred participants in it.
Absolutely. Last year we had 700 parents, students, and others come to visit the show on the opening day.
Okay.
That's good.
All right, very good. Well, definitely let's make sure that we stay in touch with each other and we can have you guys come back on and talk about it. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Enjoyed it.
All right, I want to thank both of you all for being on the show today, okay?
All right.
All right. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for more City Week in just a moment.